Hello again. My name is Guido Verwaren. I'm product manager for surfaces at Polyvision, and I have been for 30 years plus now. When you've seen my other Polyvision talks, then without a doubt you have purchased yourself a premium writing surfaces made out of ceramic steel. But be sure that this is valid for all surfaces, be it painted steel, glass, melamine. So what I want to talk to you about today is something pretty important, which is the first use of a writing surface and also the cleaning and caring of such a surface. Now, when you've installed your whiteboard, at some point in time it might have had a protection foil over it. It might even be still on there, like this. And obviously you will need to remove this foil first. A protection foil has adhesive in it, and that adhesive might have stuck to your surface. So it's important, before even first using your writing surface, that you clean the surface thoroughly. And you do that in 3 relatively simple steps. Clean the surface, rinse it with water, and dry. The first step is to clean the surface. And you start by erasing the surface, as usual, to remove any ink off the surface. And then you will need to clean the surface with a dedicated whiteboard cleaner. And at the risk of repetition, there are many different brands and qualities of cleaners on the market. You preferably want to choose a cleaner that contains little or no synthets or synthetic detergents, aka liquid soap. That's because liquid soap tends to build up invisibly onto the surface, and it will definitely decrease the dry erasability. A cheap way of making your own homemade cleaner is mixing propanol alcohol with water at a 30 to 70% ratio. And this one does not contain any synthetic detergents at all. Next step would be to rinse the surface with a cloth and water added to it, or a paper towel works fine as well. Anything that the cleaner will not have removed, water certainly will. Then you use a dry cloth or paper towel to dry off the surface, and there you have it, a pristine clean surface. Now that you have a really clean and nice shiny writing surface ready to be written upon, the first time you do that and erase, you might be left a little bit of disappointment. That is because any dry marker contains 3 basic ingredients: the solvent, which evaporates anyway, then you have the pigment resin combo, which is what you see when you have written, but specifically each dry marker that makes it dry erase is a release agent. And that release agent will stay on the surface after erasing. If you were smart and you bought yourself a good microfiber eraser, you can rest assured that that will remove that oily, waxy ghostwriting, as some people call it, twice as much as a normal felt eraser would. But if it still would bother you, even though after a while that oily film will spread evenly on the surface, so if it still bothers you, then go back to clean, rinse, and dry. After 3 weeks of going on a holiday, you return back to the office, and in your haste to get to the beach, you forgot to erase your board. So you pick up your microfiber eraser and start to erase, but wait, it doesn't erase at all. Well, that's because, remember that release agent trick of all dry markers on all surfaces? Well, the release agent doesn't release anymore. That's because under the influence of temperature and moisture and even ultraviolet, that release agent will deteriorate and will no longer release. In other words, your marker has become permanent. Next step to do: clean, rinse, and erase. Should you have any more questions concerning first use, cleaning and care of your surface whatsoever, do contact us. We will be happy to help. Now, our last talk will be about projection properties. We've been talking about erasability and cleaning of the surface, but what when you also want to use your surface for a projection purpose?